Deputy Speaker unaniambia ati nimwambie Natembea akae karibu na mimi. Mimi hata sitahili kumwambia. For Natembea is a natural step because Natembea is government from the time he was employed to today. Huyu tulikuwa na yeye na uniform moja. Mimi nilikuwa mkubwa kwake, tulikuwa madio pamoja. Alafu akakuwa DC. Hii mtu hata ukikata damu yake ni serikali. Si ndio? Ndio alikuwa anahangaisha huyu Ngeno. Because alikuwa mtu ya serikali, one of the most efficient administrators ambaye tumekuwa nayo katika Kenya hii. The blood of George Natembea is government. Sasa wewe bwana George Natembea, wewe ni serikali tangu zamani. And bwana Natembea, come we work together. We have worked with you before. You are government, you understand government like the back of your hand. You know how useful it is to be in government. Please lead the people of Trans Nzoia into government so that they can get a lot of development, they can get services from the government. So George Natembea requires no invitation to government. He is government by blood. Si ndio? Hata akisimama hapa anaongea kama serikali. Huyu hawezani na mambo ya upinzani. Hawezi, he is not. His DNA is government.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, this crisis between George Natembea, the governor of Trans Nzoia, and National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has taken a different direction, and in this new direction, Gachagua has found himself roped into this crisis. There was a story that was trending that part of the reason why George Natembea is mad with Moses Wetangula is the fact that Moses Wetangula wants to front Susan Nakuma to run for the Trans Nzoia governor position.
Na mimi kukuwa waziri wa afya iligharimu mkono ya Mungu, na hiyo mkono ya Mungu ilipitia kwa papa Speaker Moses Masika Wetangula. Wale wanasema speaker hajafanya kitu, mimi kama exhibit niko hapa.
Remember, in the previous era, the 2 terms of Trans Nzoia governorship position, Patrick Kaemba was the governor there. I think he was the governor under Ford Kenya. George Natembea has proved to be very tough for Moses Wetangula, and this is the reason why Gachagua decided to enjoin himself in this issue, because it seems Moses Wetangula was losing ground in that region, especially after that burial ceremony that Moses Wetangula appeared to have been totally or overly embarrassed. So I want us to go deeper into the statement that Gachagua released. I think from the source that I had on this video, it appears as if it was yesterday. There was a ceremony where Gachagua attended, and then he took that opportunity to talk directly to George Natembea. So I want us to delve deep into that story. But before you do that, please take 1 second and like this video. It's so important. If you like this video, that is the only support I need from you, ladies and gentlemen. And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel to make this channel grow. When you comment, we get to interact on this video. And by the way, most of your comments form the basis of another analysis. So if you comment, so good for the channel. Now, Gachagua realized that this fight, which he himself had initiated in Trans Nzoia, mind you, there's a time George Natembea complained because Gachagua, being the second in command, was trying to sideline George Natembea over government issues, over meetings which used to take place in Western. And most of the time, whenever there was anybody to invited, Gachagua would invite the deputy of George Natembea. And that caused a lot of political tension in Trans Nzoia County. So that time, I remember seeing George Natembea going publicly and castigating Gachagua as being the person who was planting seed of discord in Trans Nzoia County. So if you remember that story, it's a story that surfaced last year, I think there towards October. That is the time George Natembea complained. Well, in that complaint again, George Natembea said that the deputy was always traveling to Nairobi. Yani yeye alikuwa ni mtu wa kusafiri tu. So he was hardly in office. So that is something that surfaced last year. So this latest war of word between Natembeya and Wetangula came as a result of this latest news that Susan Nakuma was slowly being groomed to take over from George Natembea. Mind you, Susan Nakuma vied for a women rep position under Fort Kenya but failed to clinch that. So George Natembea knows that because Susan Nakuma had created a network of herself as a politician, and the fact that she is now in the health ministry, it's giving her an opportunity to first of all prepare for funds and have a network and prepare for the ground. Because if you look at the movement of Susan Nakuma lately, most of the time she's always in Trans Nzoia attending funerals, fundraisers and the like. So people have been saying that Susan Nakuma hardly stays in office. Instead of her focusing on the health issues, because right now there is a crisis, Susan Nakuma is always frequenting funerals, arambes, those village politics. Those are the things that Susan Nakuma finds herself engulfed in. So I think that's what explained why George Natembea had to hit the nail on the head and realize that this was Ford Kenya's making. This was Moses Wetangula's making. The making of Moses Wetangula was to find a way of unseating George Natembea. So this is the very good reason why George Natembea cannot let this matter go. I think the only solution to this, because if in one of the attacks of George Natembea, he said that if the leader in Bungoma can not stop meddling in the issue of Trans Nzoia County, hata yeye tutamvamia. So that was something that George Natembea released them. So if you go by the story that is trending about Susan Nakuma, of course there are people who have been saying so many sensitive issues. I didn't want to delve into those issues, but people are saying that there is something going on between the two, between Nakuma and Moses Wetangula. Something romantic. I don't know. I don't have facts, but going by what people are saying, and this has been trending. I saw something from the village, those bunges la wananchi, and then there was a talk about something regarding that. I don't know. I don't have the proof. Having a proof of that ni kitu chengine. I don't have proof, so I don't want to talk much about that aspect. But George Natembea also wondered why at one particular time Moses Wetangula pushed for an appointment of Susan Nakuma to be a CS, whereas there is someone who is very much qualified, who is the deputy party leader, whom, according to Natembea, Moses Wetangula would have fronted. And there's that time, and during that time, George Natembea said that Moses Wetangula is afraid of competition. That's why he chose to pick Susan Nakuma, who is not going to give him any competition, as opposed to the deputy party leader. So this is just something that George Natembea came up with. So in this story of Rigathi Gachagua decided to find a way of softening the heart of George Natembea by going slow on these attacks, by finding a different way of saying that Natembea belongs in government. He doesn't have to be invited. So what he's literally trying to say is that even those days when there were meetings in maybe Kakamega, Bungoma, Natembea did not have to be invited. He could have just get crushed. So Rigathi Gachagua anajikonsole hapa. Anajua kwamba amefanya mistake previously, kwamba alikuwa ampatii invitation George Natembea. Invitation ilikuwa inakuja kwa deputy. Anasema kwamba Natembea alikuwa ni mtu anaweza kuja tu. You see what Rigathi Gachagua is trying to say in that video ni kwamba ni kama vile kwa mfano you call for a rally at probably Mvita Stadium, or maybe probably Mvita, ama Afra Stadium in Nakuru, ama any other stadium, you call for a rally, most of the time you will not invite the people. You not send invitation cards to those people who will come to attend. Wale wananchi, you know, those ones will come. They are supposed to come to listen. So what Rigathi Gachagua is saying is that even Natembeya was supposed to come, yani aje kwa mkutano kama vile wananchi wanakuja, without an invitation. That to me appears as total disrespect to George Natembeya. But somewhere along that, you know, speech of Rigathi Gachagua kujua, lakini alikuwa anamjenga Natembeya because he says that huyu ni mtu very efficient. So what is there to be done then in Trans Nzoia if they have a governor who is very efficient, just like Rigathi Gachagua is saying? See, then that means Wetangula should not front someone else because Natembeya is very, very efficient. One thing I know about this whole drama is that Moses Wetangula is losing it and Natembeya is gaining. The kingpin position of Trans Nzoia and Western Kenya in totality is now at stake. Wetangula controls Bungoma only. If you go to Kakamega, Wetangula hana say. You go to Vihiga County, hana say. Vihiga County, mtu ambaye anafaa awe na say ni Mudavadi, lakini tena Mudavadi hana say. So Wetangula yeye say yake ni kwa Bungoma. Right now Natembeya say yake ni Trans Nzoia. Nobody can outsmart George Natembeya saizi hapo Trans Nzoia County. That is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. And that explains what you saw when the national speaker, when the speaker, Moses Wetangula, was attacked. Ile ilikuwa ni aibu. If I were him, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have gone there. I would have even sent someone to represent me to avoid being embarrassed. Natembeya knew very well that that was a calculated move to, you know, to continue pushing for Susan Nakuma position. And that's why he decided that to go there without an invitation. Despite the fact that they didn't want him there, he decided to go there. And because the people there resonate well with his sentiments, the people sided with him. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of this remark from Rigathi Gachagua? Do you think Rigathi Gachagua will help Moses Wetangula, ama hii ni ile inasemekana kwamba hii imeenda? You know, the Tawe movement in Trans Nzoia County will sweep away Bungoma County, Bungoma kingpin ambao ni Wetangula mbali sana. He will be swept away. Rigathi Gachagua knows it very well that Natembeya is the man to beat there. He cannot outsmart Natembeya in Trans Nzoia County. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to rest my case there. But perhaps if you watch this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like. So until we catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.